Right now, the most popular hoppers in paintball are probably the Dye Rotor LT-R and the Spire IR. And it's a common question I get asked, Spire IR versus Rotor LT-R, so let's jump into it. Just a follow-up to a video I released a few months ago where we talked about the best electric hoppers. I kind of discussed the best beginner, intermediate, and advanced hoppers. Both of these were discussed in the intermediate section, but this is more of a deep dive into both of those hoppers. So we're going to take both those hoppers, the IR and the LT-R, pick some categories, and then just compare them directly. So like we're going to compare durability, feed rate, consistency, value, and some other things. So the first thing you do with the paintball hopper is you pick it up and like put it onto your paintball gun. And when you pick up the Rotor LT-R, I mean, it's right away obvious that it's gonna be very durable. It's made of extremely good materials, it's made of thick, solid materials too. So it's not gonna bend, break, crack, anything. They just last forever. But that's not to say the Spire IR is not durable. It's still gonna probably be in this like $100 hoppers, the second most durable. There's a few problem spots that I don't like on these, like the Spire like drive cone, those little rubber things wear out, and they have been known to crack in a few spots, like the lid. Inside the tray, there's a few spots that can go wrong as well. So overall, I would say that the Rotor LT-R is the most durable, but that's not to say that like the Spire IR is not. And then which one feeds the fastest? So this again is gonna go to the Rotor LT-R. The LT-R feeds extremely fast. I mean, if you want a fast feeding hopper, the Rotors are gonna be the fastest. I mean, they easily feed in the low 20 balls a second, when the Spire IR is probably only gonna be like 16 balls a second. So if you're looking for the highest rate of fire, yeah, the LT-R is gonna for sure feed faster than the IR. But the problem with that fast feeding is that inside of those rotors in the LT-R, there's a lot of stuff kind of moving around and it can jam easy. So the Rotor LT-R is when you're using small paint, when you're shooting really fast, or say you get some really squishy paint, they are known to jam. When inside the IR, the Spires, they're very simple. There aren't any like weird edges or corners or things spinning in opposite directions like you get with the LT-R. So it's not gonna jam as easy. There's really nothing to inside there to jam on. So feeding all the time and just being ultra consistent, the Spire IR is more consistent. How easy are they to use? I would say they're both very easy to use, but I would say taking apart and just overall disassembly, the Spire IR is easier. You kind of just pop this back shell off really easily, and then all the internals just slide out. So removing the internals, like changing the batteries, cleaning stuff up, maybe you broke a bunch of paint inside there because you took a really bad fall, cleaning out the Spire IR is a little bit easier than the LT-R. The LT-R still comes apart really easy. You can take this top shell off also really easy, just like the back shell on the IR, but all the internals also remove. But there are some tabs and you gotta like remove a bunch of little pieces. So there's just more to it. It doesn't mean the LT-R is hard or difficult to take apart. There's just a little bit more to taking it apart. So going to usability, the Spire IR wins. I should also say that the speed feeds also come off really easy on the Spire IR, whereas the Rotor, you kind of have to disassemble the hopper to be able to get the speed feed on and off. But with the Spire IRs, you just push the tab and the speed feed comes off, and you could replace it with a regular lid if you want to really quick. So which one can you upgrade the most? Really, neither, we'll say. I mean, there's not a lot of upgrades for either of these things. Both of them you can get speed feeds for, but with the Rotor LT-R, there's just more options. So you can get speed feeds from like Dye, HK, Exalt, Gen X. It has a bunch of speed feeds for the Rotors. And that's really all you can do with the LT-R is add a speed feed. With the Spire though, you still can add a speed feed, but really only from Virtue. They're the only company making it. So you have one speed feed option, but you do have some color kits. So you could add, you know, some custom colors or something to your Spire IR. So because like, I don't know, Rotor's got a bunch of speed feed options, you get some color kits with the IR. I don't know, we're gonna call it tight. One of the more important things I think in this price when we're looking at like these $100 hoppers is which one's the best value. And I think that the LT-R really is the best value. It's $10 cheaper right now, so you can get the LT-Rs for $100 compared to the $110 of the Spire IR, and you can just find cheaper speed feeds. Speed feeds for the Spire IR are really like $30 to $50, depending if they're on sale or not. But the Rotor LT-Rs, you can get speed feeds for like $5. So you could get a speed feed and the LT-R for like $105, whereas the Spire IR is gonna be like $150. And that kind of bumps you up almost at that $200 price. Then you start looking at other hoppers and it starts to get all weird. So I think in this value category, I really do like the Rotor LT-R. I think it's a better deal than the Spire IR. So out of those 6 categories, if you've been keeping track and follow along, the Rotor won 3, the Spire only has 2, and we had a tie. This is kind of difficult though, really, because I think if I was choosing a hopper, I would probably go with that Spire IR, because I like that consistency in feed rate and that it doesn't jam. But I think if you want just the best deal, you want something that feeds really fast, and is really gonna probably, you could own for 15 years, the thing's so durable, I'd really maybe take a look at the Rotor LT-R. If you want more information on these hoppers, there's some videos up there or links in the description, or as always, just, ask a comment below and someone will get to it.